And Cena's sitting there, and you could tell like he's genuinely emotional. This is the end of his career. And first out is Triple H, and the crowd starts to boo so loud at Triple H. And that is the roosters, like the chickens coming home to roost, because they know Triple H is in charge of the creative. And so that means that guy's the reason we're mad. We paid all this money. We wanted to see John Cena win. He didn't win. But we're not mad at Gunther, the heel who beat him. We're mad at the guy who booked it because we know who the guy is who books it. And that guy's on TV all the time talking about how he books it.
We can't just have people reacting with and your point is brilliant. It's correct. It's like we need shadow writers that we don't know who's doing it, and like we don't need Triple H going on Good Morning America and being like, "See, we had to when I approached him about tapping in his last match." Like, shut the fuck up, dude. No, Gunther's a bad motherfucker, and Gunther was too much for Cena. And that's the story. Welcome to Wrestling Over Everything, everybody. We're a very funny wrestling podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
If you're listening, it seems like there might be a little bit of a delay. I don't know if this will be fixed in post. If it is, write it off. But we are going to power through it as best we can. And follow us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok at Wrestling Over Everything, whatever. Just look it up. Dusty is on Blue Sky. At Wrestling, look up Wrestling Over Everything. I don't know what we're called, but just look up Wrestling Over Everything. You'll find it. Dusty, what's going on Blue Sky?
Well, I was correct on my Saturday night's main event predictions. I'm also dropping good wrestling memes as I find them. So come find me over there.
Look at that. That's the kind of hard hitting journalism we want. Check this out.
Are snails faster without their shells? No, they're more sluggish.
I feel like these are getting worse.
Were they good to start with?
It had it's been a parabola. Like the first ones were really bad, and then there was a string of like 3 or 4 that actually obviously they're not going on a Carlin special, but they were pretty good. And then they're getting worse. And how many did you say are loaded onto this
7
thing?
Words you can't say. Like 500, I think.
Hell yeah, dude! I can't wait. This is episode 33, so we got a lot of them in the can.
You find that on Amazon
week,
after you come find us.
Yeah, exactly. This week we're talking about John Cena, bro. Dusty had the idea because John Cena's last match was on Saturday against Gunther. We would do a John Cena episode. We're going to do his first match in WWE, a really good match in WWE that he had, and his final match. Dusty, would you say that the really good match that we watched, would you call that his best match in WWE?
That might be my favorite match of his because it combines a few different elements I really like. Before people jump on me, I know that he has better ranked matches against CM Punk. They have a 5-star match. He's got a match against Daniel Bryan that's really, really great. We covered a lot of CM Punk. We're going to cover Daniel Bryan quite a bit. We're not going to get to this match in any of the things that we really cover. So I thought, this is 2 birds with 1 stone. It's a really great match and an opportunity to look at a fun gimmick that we're probably not going to cover otherwise.
I really appreciate that approach to it because I am sick of Phil at this point. Not fully sick of him. You know what I mean? We don't have to throw Phil out with the bathwater for good, but I'm a little filled out. So and I'm stoked. I'm stoked to do some Daniel Bryan stuff. So I think this was a good way to do it. You're muted.
Andrew, well, I was trying to give you a compliment, and so my mic knew that I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He had a really good idea to look at John Cena's first match, which had not occurred to me. So that's what we're going to cover first. Andrew, in 2002, I don't know if you know about this. One, we're post 9/11.
We are just post 9/11. Yeah, they're still cleaning up.
But 2, the WWE has no legitimate competition. WCW's gone. ECW's gone. It's just they're the only game in town.
Is a TNA around at the time?
They're just about to start up, but they're like, some people might get mad. TNA was never legitimate competition to the WWE.
Of course, yeah. Just like I'm sure who was around that who was around that wasn't touching them. Is there anybody?
Ring of Honor is just starting at this point. I don't know if Ring of Honor's even had their first event. If they have, they
wow. So there's really nobody.
Nobody's around.
Okay.
So WWE, to manufacture some semblance of competition, they do the brand split. This is the first year where they split Raw and SmackDown into two different theoretical companies, at least, with exclusive wrestlers. Unless they want to have a really big match, then not exclusive.
bring them on together. Did this happen on Raw or SmackDown?
This happened on SmackDown.
So I probably watched this.
You might have. This is before Mysterio debuts.
Yes, but I was watching during. I remember the first brand split. I remember the draft. I remember all that stuff. So, that means there is a like very high likelihood that I watched this first John Cena match.
Yeah. Also, to note, The Rock is not really around. Austin is gone. Brock Lesnar has just debuted, and so and Randy Orton might be around. He might be a couple weeks from debuting as well. So it's really Foley's gone. The cupboards are kind of bare as far as main event guys.
I definitely was watching then because I remember watching Randy Orton's first match. Like that's one of the few moments that I can actually go back to that I remember watching. I think he had blue sparkly shorts on, didn't he?
He's got, we'll talk about it. He's got the opposite create a wrestler default as John Cena does. So so they're looking for guys. They need guys. This is the same time that Shawn Michaels comes back on Raw after being out for 4 years because they're like, Jesus Christ, we need somebody on these shows that somebody cares about. Triple H's reign of terror is about to start. They're not putting Edge's in the mid card. Eddie's in the mid card. Mysterio's about to debut. It's about to get really good, but we're kind of in a weird middle ground.
Okay.
So that is where we find Vince McMahon, who we'll talk about later as well. But Vince power walks out to the ring and introduces his guy, his boy, his main man, Kurt Angle, who just took care of Hulk Hogan for him, made the Hulkster tap out at King of the Ring 2002. Very rare for the Hulkster to tap out.
They said on the telecast, tap out for the first time. Now, when they said that, I thought probably bullshit. Had he tapped out before this?
It might be a classic half truth. It might be the first time that he tapped out because they didn't used to do that, but he has given up by submission. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because Luger got him in the rack and made him tap out. So that
you don't survive the rack.
No, the Human Torture rack. They don't call it that for no reason. He
what,
submitted
are you crazy?
to that. Yeah. But this might be the first time he's ever actually tapped out because that had not been in vogue for most of the Hulkster's career.
Yeah, because that's the funny thing. I had two thoughts, and they're kind of contradictory. Because I was like, when they said first time he tapped out, I was like, probably bullshit. But also, I was like, he allowed himself to be tapped out?
Well, I think he thought, and the way that they used to sell Hogan late in his career on stuff, he thought that there was going to be a trilogy. He was going to get his win back, brother, and then they just never booked him to get his win back from Kurt Angle. Because some shit happened with him.
This isn't Vince. WCW anymore, pal.
Yeah. That's not going to work for Vince, brother. So, Vince calls Kurt Angle out. Angle is in a headgear at this point. He's in a headgear with fake hair because he lost a hair versus hair match to Edge at the May pay-per-view. So he's been wrestling with this headgear on, pretending he's not bald for 2 months, which is Kurt Angle, He's overdue for an episode on here. Kurt Angle's great in this match. He's great on the mic. He's a king.
Kurt Angle's willingness to have his face in the doo-doo is all time. Like he's the most legitimate athlete. And maybe you give Brock a little bit of that too because he was UFC champion, but and Ronda Rousey, but like at that time it's like the most legitimate athlete to ever wrestle for the WWE, and he is willing to do the like he's coming out and there's people holding up signs that say "You suck, Baldy," Olympic cue ball, like, and he's playing it up so hard. He played everything up so hard.
Yeah, he gets
God,
on the
I love
mic.
Kurt Angle.
He gets on the mic and he's like, basically, I'm the spokesman for ruthless aggression, which is this phrase that Vince had used on the previous Raw. So, like, he wants to see talent display ruthless aggression. And then this becomes known as after the Attitude Era, because they love naming, calling their shot and naming their own eras. This is the ruthless aggression era. So Kurt's like,
the funny thing is about I'm glad that I saw this because I always assumed, like, when I hear ruthless aggression, okay, Dusty, when you hear ruthless aggression, who's the wrestler you think of?
John Cena.
Like I thought ruthless aggression was John Cena. Like it is just, that is John. They're calling it the John Cena era because ruthless aggression was John Cena's thing. Because and which is funny because this is the period that I was watching. I just don't remember. But like, I just assumed, I never knew what the actual like beginning of that story was. So it's cool that we saw this.
Yeah. Angle, of course, he popped me because he goes, you people think it's funny that I'm bald, and he rips off the headgear to show his bald head, and he's like, you think that's funny? And everyone cheers, and he goes, is it funny that I made Hulk Hogan tap out? And then everyone immediately boos. It's like he's got him, dude. He's the best.
It's crazy how good he was at getting the crowd to hate him. Like, I always go back to one of my favorite wrestling things of all time. If we do a Kurt Angle episode, we have to talk about when he makes the crowd, like, he keeps redoing his entrance because the crowd keeps chanting "You suck," and he wants them to stop chanting "You suck."
Yeah. And he's only been wrestling. He debuted in November 99, and this is June 2002. So
less than
not
3 years.
Even 3 years, and he's at the top of the card. He's one of the greatest of all time. So his thing is, he's like, I'm going to make an open challenge to anybody who I've never wrestled before that's in the back. Anybody can come out. And then there's a long pause where he's like, nobody wants to face Kurt Angle. Nobody wants their shot at the Olympic hero, etc. You know,
he's
and
like,
then
look,
finally,
I'll take it easy on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He goes, look, if you're embarrassed,
Yeah.
I'm going to take it easy on you. I promised. And then just random screensaver music starts playing, and out comes John Cena in his default wrestling gear, red edition. This is like when you go to create a wrestler on any of your WWE games, the guy is initially dressed in these shorts that are red with silver on the side and red boots, and that's it.
It looks like what you show up to like wrestling school wearing. Like I've got it on the screen now. Like it is, at least it's got a black stripe down the side, but it is gimmickless, absolutely gimmickless. They don't know what they're going to do with this guy. They know he's got the look and he can move around a little bit, but he just doesn't. Like, how soon after this was he Word Life? Word Life is so stupid, by the way.
The end of the same year, basically.
Okay.
But he had been in OVW, which was the developmental that they had back then before NXT, that was ran by Jim Cornette and Danny Davis. And he had been the prototype, half man, half machine down there. And he was like kind of a Terminator gimmick. And he did a promo forwards, and then he rewound it and did it like in reverse. And that like amazed Jim Cornette, you know. And so he had been down there a while, but when they bring him up, luckily it turns out they don't stick with the prototype. that would have been a terrible gimmick for mainstream television. Like it works.
That is a early '90s ass like wrestling. That is a gimmick. See, a lot of gimmicks just have ceilings. You know, like the Repo Man was never going to be the WWF champion
unless he stole it. Part of the gimmick.
Part of the gimmick. Part of the gimmick.
He's the Repo
Man. but part robot guy is definitely not going to be at the top of your card for very long.
Yeah. So he comes out and Kurt Angle's like, "Who the hell are you?" And he goes, "I'm John Cena," and nobody says anything. It's the one time in John Cena's career that no one pops after he says his name. And then Angle's like, "What qualities do you possess that would make you a superstar?" And he drags out ruthless aggression, and then he punches Kurt Angle, and that's like the clip they always show as like the beginning of the Cena career. You know, he came out. I think it was perfect. He came out, took the chance, tried to grab the brass ring, all that stuff.
Because there's no because he doesn't have a gimmick. Like there's no way for him to truly, and they're not going to give him this monologue or whatever. Right. There's no way for him to truly get himself over right now, except for to just try to beat Kurt Angle's ass right now. And that's what he did. It was like he just went 100% immediately. And the crowd was like, whoa, like you could tell the crowd got into this match. Like they loved it.
Yeah, they work an incredibly smart match. And I mean, luckily he's in there with Kurt Angle, who is bumping his ass off for John Cena. And like John Cena gets to counter the ankle lock and the angle slam. Unfortunately for Cena, he's basically, along with his create a wrestler look, he's got the create a wrestler moveset. Before you pick all the cool moves you want your guy to do, he's like, he hits him with a spine buster. At a different point, he does a DDT. He's got a bunch of roll-ups. He tries to schoolboy Angle, and then he tries to small package him, and he tries, all of the like most basic offense you can have as a wrestler is essentially what John Cena has here. But he does get the crowd to bite on a power slam that looked really good. The power slam was really nice. Probably the best move Cena does in this match. And he really did have the crowd for a second.
It was the aggression, man. It was like it wasn't like, we're just going to have a normal wrestling match. He wrestled as if he was a guy who was getting this giant opportunity and wanted to take advantage of it. He wrestled like he was the hungry young guy. And the crowd, you could tell the crowd could feel that. Like I really enjoyed watching it, and I know what John Cena ends up being. You know what I mean? But it's like, it was, I think, a really cool, good debut that I'm sure he got to the back and was like pretty stoked about.
Yeah, I also really like the decision. So in the end, Angle ends up kind of like putting Cena in a pretzel and pins him with this like weird amateur pin, like almost an amateur wrestling move where he pins his shoulders down and gets the win. But I like that he didn't beat him with the ankle lock. He didn't beat him with his finish. He like had to go deep in the bag into something that like only Angle could pull out, because he started to get worried. He started to get worried about this guy.
He had to go to what he's an expert at.
Right. And that conveys something to the audience too, because everything you're doing tells some story. And the fact that Angle Angle doesn't beat guys like that. He kicks the shit out of them because he's the better wrestler. And in this case, it was clear like he's just trying to get out of there. So he, does something that's not overly impressive looking, but picks up the win for him.
Yeah, and credit to Angle once again. Angle wins the match, but he's still selling. He's still on the ground, like rolling around, like almost with a what the fuck look on his face. Like, I can't believe I almost lost to this guy. And Cena at first is like, licking his wounds a little bit, and he's like pissed, and then goes to shake Angle's. This is just always what's going to happen. Like if a gun to my head, I would have said, Cena's going to go for a handshake and Angle's going to blow him off, and it's going to put Cena over a little bit more as a good guy and Angle over a little bit more as a heel. And Angle like kind of gives him like, why would you think that I would shake your hand look on his face?
Yeah. Who even are you?
And
dude?
then Angle walks away and Cena's going, I almost had you, man. I almost had you, like all the way up.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a perfect debut.
Yeah, it's not exactly a squash. It's like an extended kind of showcase match where like
Yeah.
Cena does get a lot of offense and he does get a chance to look good. I liked the end. I think it's Michael Cole says Kurt Angle. I don't think Kurt Angle will be offended if he never sees John Cena again. And of course, then they wrestle 100 times or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So like you said, they go back and forth. And Angle, it's also funny because he almost goes back in the ring to try to get some more of Cena, and then he thinks better of it because and even that selling is like, oh, he's a little bit worried about this guy, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's a good way to put him over. Of course, after this, Cena says himself like he doesn't have anything beyond being the ruthless aggression guy for a while, and he's kind of just laboring in the lower mid card, and he's pretty much set to get fired. And he's on an overseas tour with everybody, and when you're on the overseas tours, apparently everybody travels together because they don't want a bunch of wrestlers on their own in these other countries trying to coordinate how to get somewhere. So you're basically on buses, which sounds cool. Like that's always, you know, all the youth convention trips I ever went on. The coolest part was like now you get to hang out with everybody and you're on the bus.
Unless you're sitting next to Rikishi, you know.
Right, yeah. But guys
between
are like
Rikishi and Umaga.
yeah, because it's 2002. Everybody is freestyle rapping in the back. You know.
Oh no.
We've all been a part of it.
Yeah.
So
I've never. That's the one thing. I'm a guy I'm confident.
We've witnessed.
I've seen it. Yeah,
yes,
I've seen it.
This is what I mean. Yeah, I'm not trying to get thrown in the cipher or anything.
I'm a confident guy, but I've never had the confidence in my freestyle rap. I've never even tried it alone. Like I'd slap myself.
The amount of confidence unchecked that you would need to just try to be to jump into a freestyle is crazy.
Or delusion.
But, but Cena is like he's back there and he's like, why not? Like, I'm gonna lose this job. I might as well have some fun. So apparently he does what he basically, it sounds like he does a whole bunch of kind of yo mama jokes where he clowns everybody in the back, but he does it as like a freestyle rap. And Stephanie McMahon hears him and is like, did you write all that stuff? And he goes, no, it's supposed to be a freestyle. You do it off the top of your head or whatever. And she's like, will you do that on TV? And he's like, you're going to let me be on TV? Fuck yeah, dude. So he dresses up as Vanilla Ice on the SmackDown that is the Halloween episode. And then he cuts, you know, whatever rap he cuts, and he's recently turned heel. And so now he's a heel rapper that on the way to the ring does a freestyle. And they're never like, it's never the most amazing freestyle, but it's pretty good for wrestling. Like if we're judging it from PN News to the Public Enemy to John Cena's not a bad rapper.
I gotta find like I wonder if there's, I'm sure there is like a compilation of his best lines.
Yeah.
Because I've never heard him beat like a 6, but like it's like we talk about. There's funny, and then there's wrestling funny. There's a different standard, so there's good rapping and wrestling rap. You know.
But I don't think the Eminem's list goes Reggie, Tupac, Biggie, Cena. You know,
that would have been funny.
Here's my list. Here's the order of my list that it's in. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie. Andre from Outkast, John Cena, Corrupt, Nas, and Biggie.
Jadakiss is pissed, bro.
Yeah. Jada, Corrupt, Nas, and then me.
Yeah, and then
that's
me.
what it is. Yeah,
that's what it is.
But he also like this rap gimmick lets him start doing the most easy heel things that you can do. They go to a city. He wears the sports jersey of the opposite team. Just the easiest heat you can get, and he's wearing a bucket hat. He looks like an idiot. It's awesome. It really, as a gimmick, you're like, okay, I get, at least this guy has a personality and he's overconfident and he's like a shitty rapper, but it's, you know, sometimes he's got a funny line.
It's just so funny that like it's like Yeet for the early 2000s
Yeah.
because it's a bunch of uncool, unhip guys found something that they can pretend to be cool and hip with. Like Word
Right.
Life is whack. He just took
Well,
two words. He
yeah.
took thug life and the word word that is used a lot, and he
Yeah.
mashed them together and made Word Life. And
Well,
all
what
these fucking neckbeard dorks in the front row
Yeah.
are like wearing bucket hats now.
What you forget, Andrew, is that Word Life is basic thugonomics. If you don't remember, that's a key. That's one of the keys that you need to remember. Is Word Life is basic
Thugonomics
thugonomics.
is funny.
Yeah. And this hand signal, like where you put just your pinkies out, I don't know
Yeah.
why that's what Word Life means, but whatever. It
What's
clearly
with the threes that he puts up now?
right. It clearly, whatever it is, it clearly works. So he turns babyface. They strap a rocket to him. He wins his first world title at WrestleMania 21. By the time we get to the next match we're watching, which is the what I think might be his best match. Yep. It looks that's Mark Wahlberg. That's the look everybody makes fun of Mark Wahlberg for. You know,
He's lucky he's jacked.
He could be singing Good Vibrations.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is John Cena in a WWE visor with kind of the old school WWF logo, but it doesn't have the F. It's like the old logo. He's got Word Life on his knuckles, obviously, and he's got the chain with a deadbolt around his neck. And he does have the underwear poking out of
sagging the joints. Yep.
And if you look closely, the band of his underwear, where with Marky Mark, it would say Tommy Hilfiger, this says Word Life. And has the WWE logo. So you know they sold Word Life boxer shorts, and I need to find a pair of hold on. We're looking at eBay. Go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves.
So by 2007, which is when we're jumping in next, Cena is the guy. He's not at this point, he is no longer universally loved. We are in what was the forever war of John Cena crowd reaction, even this early in his run. But he's the champ, you know. So next, we're going to Royal Rumble 2007. This was in San Antonio, Texas, at the AT&T Center. 13,500 people, 525,000 buy rate for this show, which is pretty good for what I distinctly remember being a not very good show overall, aside from this match. So in this match, John Cena is facing Umaga. Have you ever seen Umaga before?
I'm well because I don't think really. I know Umaga was a guy. As soon as I saw him, I went, "That's an Anoa'i guy." I don't know how to say that. Anoa'i. I don't know how to say it. When's the last time nobody from that family was in the WWE?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. There might be a brief time where before the Usos come in after Umaga unfortunately passes away. I don't know for sure.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But that's like the 2010s. Like we're talking
so maybe like 1 year.
Yeah, Samoans are around forever. Like there's never not a Samoan.
This particular family of Samoans, like, which is amazing.
Well, like, I think there's like two trees. Basically, there's the Anawahi, and then there's the other
the Fatus.
Side. Yeah, and that's but like always somebody.
And this guy's I think Umaga's a Fatu, right?
He is, yeah. Edward Smith Fatu, who wrestled as Jamal for a while in WWE before being rebranded as Umaga. His brother.
Oh, he was Jamal in WWE. I thought he was Jamal just in Japan.
No, him and his brother Rosie were 3-minute warning in WWE for a little while, and then it's his cousin, not his brother. Okay, his cousin, and then they went away, went to New Japan or went to All Japan, and then they brought him back in 2006 to be Umaga.
Damn, because I had a joke, not really a joke, but like I was like, it shows you the matter of perspective. Like in America, he's Umaga, the mysterious
Samoan monster,
Samoan monster, and in Japan, he's Jamal, the African American man.
He's just Jamal the guy.
Yeah, but apparently he was also Jamal in America, so it kills my whole thing.
That's really funny. Speaking of which, Umaga is a gimmick that should not work in 2007, right? We should be beyond the idea of like, because this is your Kamala, your Missing Link, your Savage from a faraway land.
Is that what they're going for with him?
Gimmick. His entrance music is tribal drums. Andrew.
They could be Samoan tribal drums, dog.
No,
he could just be patriotic.
He's got a handler. He doesn't speak English. He's got war paint on his face. That's fair. I'm just saying, like, they're kind of doing similar stuff now. Sometimes when they get a new Samoan guy, you know, they're not doing as far. Like he wears a hoodie, but he also like, you know, it's like but because like that's. I'm sure. Listen, I'm as white as the what is it? As white as the driven snow, which is weird because I don't know if driven snow is white. But I assume what's on his face is like Samoan tribal, like, or did Vince just go put some shit on his face? I don't know. I don't care. I assume that it's Samoan tribal stuff, but it's not that far from the head shrinkers gimmick in my mind. Most or like
no, I see what you mean.
The wild Samoans, like, you know it, but this gimmick ruled. I was like, when he first debuted, I was like, there's no way this shit gets over in 2007. Like, we know that this is a guy who went to wrestling school. He's just a guy, and they're like, from a far away mysterious land we found this monster, you know, and the guy who's his manager, what is it? I can't remember his manager's name. I had it written down here, but he like, this guy's wearing a fedora and he's like a Cuban, like huckster guy, and he's like,
it's Lou Bega.
Yeah, he's
Armando Estrada.
Yeah, he's like the handler for this giant monster.
And, Lou Bega, by the way, did you know? German.
Turns out I think I did know that. That's really funny. He needs a little bit of strudel.
I think he's got like he's got an Italian mother and a Ugandan father, so there's no
okay. You know,
there's no Cuban in him at all. Oh, what a world we used to live in, man.
But turns out, no matter what the year, no matter the decade, no matter how progressive we've moved in our lives, if you smash a giant monster over, that guy will get over. The Umaga destroys everybody for like 8 or 9 months. He kills Shawn Michaels. He beats up Triple H. He wins all of his matches, and he's awesome doing it because Umaga is a great wrestler. Turns out people are into it.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's. I didn't know because, like I said, I don't know if I've seen Umaga before. He is really good.
Yeah, so it's like it just works, regardless of era. Like, they could do this gimmick now, and I'd roll my eyes at the start of it, and then I'd be like, "This Umaga guy, pretty good." Like,
if they did it with Jacob Fatu, you would eventually pop.
That is that's because, as we've said on this podcast, one of my guys. I see something in Jacob Fatu that no one else has ever seen. He's my guy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's everybody that I've heard talk about Jacob Fatu is like, he's never going to be anything. Yeah. I've never seen an ounce of athleticism or ability out of him. I mean, we saw what was the really bad match that he had
him
a few
and
months
Solo
ago.
Sikoa. Yeah, Stinkfest.
Was awesome. Listen, bro, USA, you might. That might be a total auditing of you as a prospector in wrestling, you know?
I don't think that match, I don't think that Jacob Fatu is the problem in that match. I think it's the other guy. I think it's pretty well known. that of those two guys, one of them is less talented than the other. But
Listen, I called Rusev. I
yeah,
called Disco Inferno.
yeah,
Listen, I think my track record might be a little better.
that's so far. The Jacob Fatu's never been world television champion. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he doesn't have a
Um,
successful podcast either.
No. Andrew, Saliva is here.
I know.
They're also doing the song for WrestleMania 23. And they're in attendance, baby. Just so you know. JR, big fan of Saliva.
I just like wrestling just single-handedly held butt rock up in the lexicon of the United States. Like, and Saliva looks like Saliva. Like, I would never recognize Saliva in in the wild. If there was a guy from Saliva standing next to me, I'd have no idea. But like, they put him on the screen, I went, that's Saliva for sure.
Yeah, for Shitty's 2000 Rock, whenever there was only one set of footprints, it was because WWE carried them. All right. So at their New Year's Revolution pay-per-view from a month before, Cena beat Umaga to get for his first loss in WWE in a kind of fluky way. He schoolboyed him up to beat him. And so our Estrada and Coach, for some reason, who I think is the evil authority figure, which really shows you what's happening in 2007.
Fucking Coach, man.
They got to take Cena down. So they make it a last man standing match, which is you can only be beaten if you can't answer a 10 count. That's there's no disqualification and no count out or anything. So you got
not like a 10 count outside of the ring. Like if you are on the ground for 10 seconds and don't get up.
Right.
What counts as getting up? Do you have to have 2 feet on the ground? Is one knee?
I believe you have to be completely vertical,
like standing.
You can be. I think you can be leaning against something, but you got to be up.
Okay. 2 feet on the ground.
Yeah. Someone has a last man standing sign. It just says last man standing. Awesome insight, dude. Thank you so much.
Somebody handed him that sign when he walked in.
That's a video game sign.
The odd thing is, I know this is 2007. I don't know how they knew. It was just for the Tim Allen TV show.
Yeah. They knew that in the future the woke mob was coming for last man standing, so they were holding it up even back then.
This will make sense in the future.
Yeah. This is for future TV. Umaga comes out to his goddamn tribal drum music.
Yep.
Where it sounds like they're in the deepest jungles of Samoa.
The deepest, darkest Samoa.
There's a guy who's holding a last man eating sign. It says Umaga, last man eating, which is funny. But then Umaga goes
it's also
to punch,
it's also a sign of the times. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. The funniest part is Umaga sees that sign and then he flexes at the dude, and the dude backs. The dude flinches. Get fucked, bro.
Okay, so 2 things. This is a double sign of the times, because that Umaga is 2007 fat.
Yeah.
He's not like Kevin Owens, people call him fat and stuff like that, but he is 2007 fat, which is way different than 2025 fat.
Right.
The other thing is that shows you, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, people watched wrestling differently back in those days. Nobody's flinching at Umaga nowadays. The guy's going to think that he's part of the production now, and he's going to drop his fucking sign, and he's going to try to flinch back at Umaga and act like he's going to punch Umaga, and he's going to try to big brother him because he knows it's fake.
Yeah. We'll talk about this a little bit later. This John Cena shirt sucks, dude. John Cena comes out. He's full on in his camo, the Marine era of John Cena. Like, has anyone ever overcome such terrible merch as John Cena has? Well, I know he's gotten a lot of swings at bat because he's been a star for 23 years or whatever. But,
so I only found a video game screenshot of the shirt, and I think this is the same shirt. Something Assault Battalion.
chain gang assault battalion
Yep.
with a bulldog on it.
So, but we have to remember, dude, 2000, like, one-ish. I think 9/11 just ruined us for fashion. But, like, the early 2000s were America's awkward teenage years. Nobody dressed cool. We didn't know what we were doing from, like, 2000 to, like, 2015, 2016 even. Like, it was a long time. Like, some of the pictures of me, I found a picture of my first stand-up set the other day. I was wearing a black shirt with a gray thermal under, like, long sleeve under the black shirt, and the sleeves were rolled. It was just a problem, bro. And I had, like, these big, like, not big, like, stylish big pants. They looked like shit. Like, it was just, and I was cool.
Right.
So, like, we got to understand the era that this was in. Nothing was cool in 2007. So we got to give them a little bit of grace. But this is, so we went from, did we go straight from Word Life John Cena to Stolen Valor John Cena? Was that, like...
Yeah, that's I believe Word Life, where he dressed like an idiot, moved into I now wear camo shorts and I'm a Marine in parentheses. You know.
Yeah. It's, you know.
What are you gonna do?
John Cena, man.
Know?
John Cena.
So John Cena's ribs are taped. Shout out to DDP for perpetual core injury as a babyface. Umaga is just a monster at the start of this thing. He's getting all the offense. I thought they worked this match incredibly smart. Like, Cena gets hope spots. He gets little bits where he's getting to do something. But then Umaga cuts him off with something almost every single time.
Yeah, it's basically John getting his tits lit the whole match, except for every once in a while he'll either have, like, a moment of, like, second wind where he can pick up the steps, or, like, he'll do something smart to then hurt Umaga. But Umaga is getting all the real physical, like, long, like, extended action in the match, which I think is the right way to do it.
Yeah, and they build, so, like, one of the inherent problems in a last man standing is, like, you have to be able to defend it, to sell somebody on the idea that this guy's not getting up to a 10 count when normally it only takes 3 seconds to beat somebody. So,
and you're,
like,
holding him down with the 3 seconds. So you got to beat him up so bad, you don't even have to hold him down anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, you can't go too early to the big dramatic, like, count-alongs, because, like, the spinning heel kick is not going to keep John Cena down for 10 seconds. You have to be able to escalate to a point where there's a believable finish to this type of match.
Yeah.
The steps. So we're not quite in the PG era yet. We're going towards that way. But we haven't fully gone PG yet. But the steps are the primary weapon. I don't know if in Samoa the steps are, like, the worst thing that you can have happen to you, but Umaga is obsessed with using the steps to hurt John Cena.
No, it's there's no steps in Samoa at all. So it's a really novel thing for him. He never has the opportunity to use steps, so he utilizes them as he can.
There's a part in this match where Cena finally gets a small advantage. The steps are in the ring. Cena hulks up with the steps. Umaga's standing on the floor, and Cena just chucks these steps into Umaga's face on the floor. And it immediately made me think of Charlie Murphy slapping Rick James, because Umaga has the same kind of braids in his hair. So I just imagine when the thing hit him in the face, he goes, "God damn!
God damn!" Yeah. To their credit, that looked really good. Like, I rewound it, and you can tell Umaga gets his hands up, like, when you rewind it. But if you don't rewind it, you can, if you're not paying super hard attention, it looks like he got hit square in the forehead with these steps.
Yeah, and they're still not PG because the attitude adjustment is still called the FU, bro. FU, dog.
Well, I'm surprised he was able to keep the STFU.
he doesn't really use it that much, and maybe I think the I think he kind of retired it for the PG years because they couldn't think of another name for it. The extra attitude adjuster. uh, so, but the FU made sense.
You've had enough.
Yeah, they needed you. You know,
Huh? I would have either been the greatest
face the C Nation.
I would have either been the face of the organization as a writer in WWE, or I would have been that day one. I would have been that meme where a guy says something in an office meeting, and then the next frame is him getting thrown out the window.
They would have DJ Jazzy Jeff you right out of the writers' room.
Get it because his name's Cena.
Yeah,
I don't think you understood,
dude. You would have been great because there's. I'll try to find it for one of the future episodes, but there's a list of finishing move names that they gave Chris Jericho when he first came to WWE, and all of them are terrible. Like the salad shooter for some reason is like, instead of the walls of Jericho,
which is the most perfect, like, on the nose.
Walls of Jericho is the one he came up with. They have a whole creative department that wrote like 50 ideas, and then Vince wrote in pen, you can see additional names. The Humbler, the Ayatollah, like all these different things. And then
he already had the Walls of Jericho ready to rock and roll.
I think that he might have come up with it later after he read that list where he's like,
if your name is Chris Jericho and you have that finishing move and it took you more than 3 seconds to come up with the Walls of Jericho, you were never in Sunday school as a kid like we were.
Well, he was growing up. He used to be Lionheart Chris Jericho. So the move was called the Lion Tamer, which is also good, but they wanted, whenever he moved to WWE, to retire the Lion Tamer idea. You know, he comes in.
Even then, it's like he's taming himself. He's got the heart of a lion.
Right. He's the Lion Tamer. And then, like, there's the famous story with Steve Austin where he pitched them like, I want to be a more cold, uncaring, sort of dark character, you know. And he said he got the idea because he watched the documentary about that mob hitman, the Iceman, whatever that guy's name was. And so WWE Creative sent him 1 million like cold pun names. Chili McFreeze. You know, Chili McFreeze was legitimately on the list. And then he came up with Stone Cold. So I don't know what the creative.
His wife came up with Stone Cold.
Or his wife came up with it. Yeah. So
I found the Chris Jericho list, by the way. We don't have to go through all of them. The Millennium Crash, Jericho Shutdown, Turn of the Century, The Bender, Y2 Corkscrew with a K. Back to the Future. They probably would have ran into some issues with that. Y2-3 is very dumb. Big Finish, The Whammer Jammer. Are any of these good? Millennium Cruncher, Y2J Catastrophe, Millennium Buster, Figure Y2J Leglock, way too long. One says The Embarrasser, and in parentheses says that move is pretty degrading.
Yeah, well, Vince is like, I can never be on my belly, you know. Well,
Vince's ones are better except for Power Slave.
Oh, well, because that's the name of, like, I think that's the name of a Judas Priest album.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Or maybe it's Skid Row or something. It's a heavy metal album name.
The Jerichoer, huh?
Yeah,
how about that one? What do you think about that one?
The point is that they would have hailed you a god for your level of your level of puns.
Punetry. I don't know if I would have came up with wouldn't have been able to come up with the double leg vice of torment. He's got him in the double leg vice of torment.
Can you imagine? So I also, this is a big Jim Ross, as always. We want to highlight the GOAT. At one point, he calls Umaga a savage, which doesn't seem cool in 2007. whenever
I wish there was a worse word I could call him.
yeah, they're making me say savage. Imagine what I would want to say. So Cena gets busted open pretty good. Pretty good gusher from old John Cena in this match.
It's actually a pretty cool spot. Cena has Umaga on his shoulders, and he's going to like throw him onto the steps, but he acts as if Umaga's too heavy, kind of, and he doesn't like fully do the move. So not only does Umaga hit the steps, but Cena's face just slams right into the top of the steps. Another thing that I rewound because it did look good, Cena does get his hands up before they hit the steps. And then Cena's under the steps for a while. I think they've got Kevin Nash down there with a blade.
Trying to help him. Well, they don't have Bret Hart
they've got a hole anymore. They've got a hole in the floor, and Bret Hart is down there, and he pops up under the steps to cut John Cena's forehead.
Yep. So of course, right away, the blood loss makes John Cena stronger. The adrenaline's pumping, so he's doing a Hulk Hogan style comeback, and then Umaga hits him with an awesome looking Samoan drop, and Jim Ross goes a supersized slobber knocking Samoan drop.
Only JR, man.
Yep. Okay, so the end of this match, there's one big spot where Umaga has John Cena bent John Cena's face for he's standing.
I'm sorry, real quick. I'm sorry, Dusty. I just saw I got this list on the other side, and I got to put it away because I keep looking. One of the names that Vince McMahon suggested is Doomsday Device.
We've never had a talent use that one before.
He's like, nobody will remember that shit. I don't know. Who knows Laud anymore?
Yeah, we're it's 1999. They're still on the roster. What the hell? So Cena's standing, but he's bent at the waist, and his face is on the table, the announce table. And Umaga is on the ECW announce table, which is now there's 3 announce tables. There's the ECW one, the SmackDown one, and the Raw one. And he's going to run to jump to splash John Cena on the Raw table that he's bent in front of. But as Andrew will point out, that doesn't actually give him any additional momentum. The tables are all the same height. So he's just making it harder on himself. He could just splash him from the one, and it would hurt just as much.
No, he needs to get that running start.
Yeah, he's got to get that motor revved. But Cena moves, of course, because no one's going to take that bump. And Umaga splashes, breaks the table into a million pieces. That is the tease where Umaga is up at 9. Cena gets back in the ring. They're counting Umaga down, and he gets up, and he's still in monster mode. So Umaga's manager loosens the top rope so that he can now use the bolt, the steel bolt, to hit John Cena as like a last ditch effort.
He literally took the top rope off at the turnbuckle. It took the
Cena blocks that, of course, hits the FU. No attitudes were adjusted at this point. Where Umaga's still got a bad attitude.
You can't adjust a Samoan's attitude. I've tried.
And then he hits him in the head with the bolt, and I swear Jim Ross goes, "God damn!"
God.
I rewound it. Sounds like he yelled, "God damn!"
He's killed him.
Yeah. And then Cena grabs the ropes to choke Umaga because, as Jim Ross points out, even a monster's got to breathe, right? And Cena's giving it all he's got.
And he's screaming. It's a good shot of Cena has the rope around Umaga's face. He's got the crimson mask, and he is screaming.
It's like in the movie when the good guy has to go over the line. Like, Cena doesn't want to choke this guy to death, but there's nothing else he can do. So it's like a scream of anguish into the abyss of what man is capable of. Like, this is maybe the best acting John Cena's ever done.
I thought the same exact thing, by the way.
Yeah, he's screaming like he's fighting the predator, and he chokes Umaga out, and then it nearly works. Umaga starts to stir in spite of the choking, so Cena has to go back to it, which is almost an Austin Powers. I'm not dead. I'm just very badly burned.
I thought you were gonna go with an Austin Powers. Why won't you die?
Oh yeah, the wound is beginning to smell of almonds. It's so finally
I'm just very badly burned.
He chokes Umaga, gets the 10 count, and that picks up the win in, let me see, I have it written down, 23 minutes and 9 seconds. I thought this match was awesome. It only got 4 stars in the Observer. I don't know that this is a full 5-star match, but I thought they worked a really good last man standing match. I thought they worked a really good monster versus babyface. I thought the finish was very creative. Like this worked really well for me.
Yeah, I agree. This was really cool. When I saw Umaga, I didn't know what to expect, obviously, because I've never seen him wrestle. But pretty quickly, I realized that this was going to be fun. And I was going to say props to Cena, but it's his job. He wrestled a really good, aggressive, like brutal match, and he got the blood, and he took a bunch of big bumps, and like it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And he sold fantastically. Like this is the WWF formula at its best. This is the never give up hero babyface versus a giant monster. And it's a formula that whenever both characters are over, almost never fails. Yeah. And can be really entertaining. I think and this shows John Cena in why he was a guy for over 20 years. He's a big match wrestler. He can put together a very big entertainment spectacle that you want as the main event of a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great.
All right. Here we go. The last John Cena match. This, of course, took place last weekend on Saturday night's main event. They are at Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena. 19,273 people paid an exorbitant amount of money to see John Cena's last match. There's it's like a $5 million gate for this show. So overall, I thought the card was okay. I thought it was cool, the idea of bringing in like your NXT guys to put on this big show that's going to have more eyeballs than any regular WWE show, and definitely any NXT show that they're currently doing.
Yeah, and they definitely they showcased the people really well. The non WWE people, and it is very much like Stephanie McMahon was playing corporate. Hey, I'm television Stephanie McMahon. But she, yeah. I believe her when she says that it is very much like John's nature to use his last match to put a bunch of younger guys over. And they did.
Yeah, and he said in a couple of interviews, I watched clips of a few of his interviews he's been on, like Rogan, he was on Chris Van Fleet, I think he did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and in all of those he said, I don't want it to just be a thing about me. I'm like, hey, let me get back to the business. Yeah. Let's have some people on the show. So we had talked about while the show was going on, they're definitely not letting the NXT champion beat Cody Rhodes. They booked themselves out of that match with a DQ, but you get to see the Obafemi, who's pretty impressive, against your top guy, which isn't bad. You can always come back to that. But they got out of that one. We were like, you have to have an NXT person win one of these matches, because otherwise you're really shitting on your developmental group if they can't get one. And it seemed like the women's match was the place to do it. I thought Sol Ruka looked pretty good. Her finisher is insane looking. I don't know. The degree of difficulty on that reminds me of the Ember Moon's finisher, the stunner from the top rope, where it's like, if you can hit it every time, it looks spectacular. But if you mess it up, I don't know, it's going to look really bad. And I thought her and Bailey had a really good match. Bailey, of course, does the honors, puts her over. I thought that worked. The tag match, they only got like 6 minutes, but AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Leon Edwards and Javon Evans, I believe.
Is his name Leon Edwards? Are you?
Oh, am I doing the
UFC
I might
fighter?
be doing the UFC guy. That would be unfortunate. What is his name? No, I don't remember.
Who cares? Who cares? Good for him.
Yeah,
He had a good
that
time.
tag match, really cool. A lot of good moves. 4 athletic small guys going out there doing a bunch of stuff. I could see wanting to see a longer, better version of that match. But it was really cool, and so I thought like they did a pretty decent show as a build up to this. Gunther's the perfect opponent. We can talk about why, but I love Gunther. He's a villain's villain. Like that guy knows what his job is, and he from the time his music hits, and I love Gunther's music. The beginning sounds like the Jaws theme, where it's like da and then it goes into that sort of orchestral like German music. He comes out, he's healing like crazy. The crowd's booing him. They hate him for the right reason at this point. And then they mention in the commentary, John Cena hasn't tapped out in 20 years. So they're putting the Easter egg out there for you.
Well, because Gunther had done press, he was on like mainstream like media tour telling people that he was going to make John Cena quit.
Right, and he's a guy who will famously never give up. So, I thought Cena's music hits. Yeah, Cena's music hits. It's insane. This crowd is going nuts. And normally they put up like a decimal reader for big entrances, but they didn't do it for this one for whatever the reason is. But
yeah, there wasn't very much John Cena sucks, which kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, so there's people paid. They know what time it is. They know what the show is built around. So I thought for a final match, like I know Cena's given it his all, and he's saying the reason that he's retiring is because he can't do it anymore, and so he's throwing every last bit of energy he has into these things. He had a really good match with Gunther, and that's also because Gunther knows how to do a John Cena match, or knows what his job is in this John Cena match.
Of course, yeah, he's going to be brutal. Like, and Cena's going to bump his ass off, and that's what we expected, that John would get beat up pretty bad in this match and lose. Like that was the expectation. That's what I expected at least going into it.
Yeah, and I think like you can tell like he's Gunther's laying him down pretty easy on these power bombs and these suplexes because of he doesn't want to kill John Cena, but like he's taken the lion's share of this match. Much like the Umaga match, Cena works best as a babyface fighting from underneath. Give him the hope spots. Like everybody knows, the AA is a killer in these things. Like he's hitting all the greatest hits. He did like 3 you can't see me's in this match just to give the crowd their money's worth.
On one of them, he's like, "This is the last one. Get ready!"
I swear to God.
Of course, Gunther reverses that one and beats the
pops
shit
up and boots him right in the face. Yeah. A couple of spots from this match that I thought we should highlight is Gunther gets the steps. He's beating the shit out of Cena. He gets the steps. He stands on them. And like, well, nothing terrible could happen if I stand on these steps. And it's obvious that he's going to get attitude adjusted through this table. He was real close to hitting his head on the back of those steps when he got flipped over. It was close.
It was really close. There were a couple of times where Gunther had to wait for John too long. Like, there's a time when John's on the top rope and Gunther's waiting for John to drop a leg on him, and Gunther's just bent at his waist for like way too long for no reason.
That's
that's nitpicky stuff.
Giant leg drop because Cena's like, fuck it, who cares? I'm retired after this. So he does
I can blow my ass out if I want to.
Yeah, my hamstring can be fixed while I'm filming Peacemaker season 3.
Yeah.
That bump onto the table was good, and they did get me. They got me one time whenever Cena did the super attitude adjustment off the rope, where I was like, this might be the finish. I think Gunther's
Yeah.
probably going to win still, but they gave me the one spot, and that's mostly what I ask for in these kind of matches where it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Like, if you can get me to bite on one near fall, then you were successful.
Yeah. There's a little bit of drama.
I did the math here. The problem, Andrew, is that Cena adjusted the attitude 4 times.
Oh, you can't adjust the attitude an even amount of times. We've talked about this.
Because much like the Krusty doll in The Simpsons, it's set to Gunther's set to evil. So you attitude adjust him to good, back to evil, back to good, back to evil. That is no good. That's not a place you want to be.
It's Christmas time. Everybody's seen Christmas Vacation. You know, you fall down a well, your eyes go cross, you get kicked by a mule, they go right back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to attitude adjust an odd number of times.
Yeah. And he should know that as a veteran. It's his last match. He should have learned that lesson by now.
That's true. Those are tricks you should pick up along the way. So,
yeah.
In the end, Gunther gets Cena in a sleeper. And I thought they worked this effectively for a wrestling thing for a while. So it's like Cena's trying to get out of this. He gets out of it. Gunther slaps it back on. Cena gets up. He does another hope spot. Gunther slaps it back on. At a certain point, Gunther has the least effective sleeper hold in the history of mankind. Like you got to be able to slap that thing on. And make me believe there's some danger. I know it's a television show, but come on, man. like at a certain point, he's just resting it. And then a couple of times it looked like Cena asked him to adjust the grip. Like you could see him talking to Gunther, and I was wondering if it's because it was like obscuring Cena's face for the hard cam. And he had to,
that could be. Yeah, that's interesting.
Had to re-grab the grip.
It's funny. It is the peak irony of John Cena telling somebody that their finisher, that their submission looks bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
People aren't going to believe this, brother. They believed the STFU for years.
Yeah. And in the end, Cena he's like locked in. Gunther has him in the sleeper, and he gets this look on his face, and he taps. And Gunther is the winner. John Cena is retired. Gunther goes over. That is... Oh, and I thought pretty good match. That is my match recap portion of the John Cena's final match. Now we can get into the rest of it. I'll start. What's with that look? Why? I watched it again. And I think that there's a thing that he might be going for, but the way that he looks whenever he gives up is kind of like a, all right. And he lightly taps Gunther, just kind of like a, I gave it the college try. I'm not getting out of this thing.
The way that I saw it was like, this is what they were going for, is like contentment. Like, I've done it all. I've tried really hard. It's time for me to go. Like, I'm okay with this. I can't do anything further, so I'm going to tap out. But Dusty.
Yeah.
This fucking guy never gives up, Dusty.
Right.
It's been his whole thing that he doesn't give up.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not like bringing up some novel thing that nobody's thought about. I understand a lot of people are talking about this, but like, I can just see Triple H going up to him and telling him that's the finish. Like, I think you got to tap or whatever. So somebody coming up with it and thinking that they're being profound, that like he has to step away. And it's like, he has to, sometimes you got to realize when it's time to leave or something like that. But hey, you put it on t-shirts. How many fucking people in that crowd are wearing shirts that say never give up, and they watch the never give up guy give up, and not only give up in a sleeper hold that apparently isn't hurting him enough for him to grimace. It's hurting him so little that he can smile and calmly tap out.
That is my main issue, is that he does not, I do not believe that he is selling that he is in peril. I think
No.
that it's him just like you can tell a story of, look, man, I gave it my all, I'm out. But you got to be fighting. You got to be fighting, and you just can't get away from Gunther in the sleeper hold. And then you tap. And then that is okay, so now Gunther can say, I'm the guy that made the never give up guy give up. But like it's like uh it's like he was sitting there thinking about, oh man, like he's sunsetting. He's like, oh shit, like after this it's really over. I really did it. That's crazy. Now I'm not upset that I never give up, and so then I tap, and it's
and also, how about this? How about he goes out cold with a smile on his face? You know what I mean? Like, he's got that little grin and he just lets himself go. Like, because then he didn't give up, but he's also still content with what happened. Like, he felt like he gave it his all. He's happy with his performance and with his career, and he goes out.
And it's an easy fix, because I think they wanted Gunther to be able to say, I'm the guy who tapped out John Cena. But I think if you, on Monday, it's like, well, John Cena never gave up. And then Gunther goes, I'm happy that he didn't give up, because I got to choke John Cena until he was unconscious in his last match. The last memory you have of John Cena is him passed out in the ring because of me.
Exactly. And then fucking boo, they're throwing stuff at him, but they wouldn't be booing him and throwing stuff at him. They'd either be cheering him or chanting at him, because wrestling fans don't respond as normal human emotions anymore.
Well, and the other thing I was thinking is, like, I don't know if John Cena wanted to do this for his body, but there's moves you could figure it out for. But if he just kept eating power bombs and just kept getting up, and finally he's on his hands and knees, and he's trying to get back up, and Gunther's hit him with like 8 power bombs in a row, and even Gunther is starting to be like, this is good. The tuxedos are fucked up right now. There's too many power bombs, but you're forcing me to do this. And then he grabs him, and then he sleeper holds him, and then Cena has to tap, because he's conveyed that he literally has nothing left. Then I think that's still profound, and you still get that moment. But the way he did it just kind of left me flat, man. It didn't do what I think they wanted it to do.
Yeah, and I really like, and I know it's very simple to be mad that the never give up guy gave up, but like, I just don't think that is the way to end that whole thing. Like I said, like, I think the perfect thing is he goes unconscious with like a kind of like content look on his face. He just he knows it's over,
Well, and he knows he did everything he could. You could do spots where he's trying to ram Gunther into the buckle or whatever, and Gunther just won't let go. And he's just like, okay, now I don't have it anymore. Like, this guy, I'm not going to give up, because I'm a guy who doesn't give up, but I know that the John Cena who could beat this guy doesn't exist anymore. Now I'm this guy.
What's better to put Gunther over as a heel, to toss John Cena's unconscious body to the ground,
like
Lyoto Machida, and stare at the audience and just walk off as it goes. And like, I don't know, man. Like, that wasn't the worst part of the night for me, but it wasn't good. It wasn't.
I'm gonna clear the runway for your for your main complaint, which I know
it wasn't even the second worst part of the night for me, by the way.
Yeah.
There's multiple other things that I have issues with, but whenever you're ready.
So I think the main thing to talk about is the crowd reaction within the body of the match, which, like, Andrew and I talked about it. One of our most popular TikToks is about how you can't watch wrestling as a wrestling fan now the same way that you could 40 years ago. And I think, and we think that's bad. Ultimately, that makes wrestling, the product, worse. People are very satisfied with making themselves the main part of the show.
Yeah. Dusty, let me ask you a question. When you stub your toe, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? Like if you're gonna verbally do something, what are you gonna do?
I exclaim in pain,
Yeah.
and possibly curse.
Oh, so you're not gonna go, "Ow, my toe hurts." Ow, like we don't. They're not reacting as human beings anymore. They're standing in the crowd waiting for the guy whoever's starting all these to start a new chant because because that is what watching wrestling is now. It is no longer reacting with emotion for the most part. Sometimes there's things that happen that people cheer for,
Oh,
or
there's some genuine emotion we could talk about that happened in this segment, but we could get to that.
well, and then these guys are chanting the F word
Yeah.
with like, and listen, I have said some very filthy things on stage, on this podcast, like all these things, not with children in the front row with belts over their shoulders there to see their hero. And it's like they had to mute like stretches of this match because the crowd's chanting "fuck you, Gunther," and it's like you can't come
Right.
up like you can't just boo him and like scream, and like you have to be cheerleaders like a softball dugout in the middle of a game. Like it's just I just it drives me nuts, man, because it takes me out of the match because it's the one of the best things about wrestling is the electricity in the room. Is like,
Right.
you know, when The Rock and Hogan are in the ring and they're looking at each other and the crowd is just going batshit. And we talked about this. How different would that moment have been if they were chanting "This is awesome"? Because nowadays they would be chanting "This is awesome," and it would be a way worse moment. Like not even we probably wouldn't even really remember the moment. And like even Cena does this the Super AA, and they start chanting "Super Cena." No, cheer, you assholes.
Yeah. Well, when they want him to get out of the move, they start chanting Super Cena. But Super Cena is a complaint that the internet wrestling community used to have whenever he was going over everybody and he was too strong as a babyface. Like it's such an inside baseball bullshit thing that you're gonna pop yourself and maybe a few people in the crowd or maybe a lot of people, it seems like now, to chant that because you know what it means and it's ironic, but it's not a genuine reaction to what's happening in the ring. Like when Ricky Morton was in the ring and they thought that they were killing him and they started chanting rock and roll like to the Rock and Roll Express, it was because they they genuinely were concerned for Ricky Morton's life, you know.
And and we're not saying that you should never chant. Like chants are cool sometimes. There's times when it works. Thank you, Cena, after the match. Like that stuff is and listen, you can chant whenever you want for the record. Like I'm not a cop.
Well, and if you pay
like,
that amount of money that they're making people pay, go ahead and do your chants.
Watch it however you want to watch it. I just think it makes the whole thing way worse.
It hurts the product. I did like the "you tapped out" chants to Gunther because that gives him as a heel. Like that's a character thing where his character has tapped out and then pretends he's a tough guy. Like that gives him a chance in character as a heel to react to that sort of thing. Like, you know, like stomping your feet and chanting Cena, all of that stuff is great. It's just like the people that watch wrestling now and go to these things and can afford to go to these things are very excited about making themselves part of the show instead of reacting to the show that they paid to watch. And
Have you ever seen there's this guy who's gotten moderately internet famous for heckling baseball players, and they always say "you bum" after every single one of them?
Yeah.
I hate that guy, and I love baseball. And it's like, don't go to something that's a show and try to be the show. Like, you know, the guy who's starting those chants is like hitting his friend, like, I got him going with the fucking Super Cena and fuck you, Cena, and all that stuff. And it's like, go and be a spectator. And the show, the spectacle of wrestling is so much better when people are reacting with genuine emotion. And it's not just kayfabe dying, because kayfabe has been dead for a long time. You think the crowd in the Attitude Era thought all that shit was real? No. But they're screaming their guts out the whole time.
This Umaga Cena match we watched, Like
Yeah.
there's no cheeky chance in that match. Like, and there is genuine concern for John Cena that this big fucker's gonna gonna kill him within the story that they're telling. And nobody, I mean, maybe little kids, but like most of the people in that arena also know that wrestling is predetermined. But
Yeah.
it also goes to your bigger point, which we can also get to, which is this is the chickens coming home to fucking roost. This is they've made the bed for
Yeah.
25 plus years. This is the thing that Jim Cornette is always talking about. Like they made their own bed. And after Cena taps out, Gunther, to his credit, he fucks off and he's going up the aisle. He's got his arms up. He's doing the heel thing, but he leaves, and they leave Cena in the ring. And Cena's like he's sitting there, and you can tell like he's genuinely emotional. This is the end of his career, and he's talking to fans in the front row, and he's going, "I did the best I could, you know, I tried hard," and he's standing there, and then from the back come a parade of wrestlers, and first out is Triple H, and the crowd starts to boo so loud at Triple H, and that is the roosters, like the chickens coming home to roost, because they know that Triple H is the guy who books the show, and
Yeah.
Triple H is the guy that decided. I mean, Cena probably decided that he loses his last match, but Triple H is in charge of the creative, and so that means that guy's the reason we're mad. We paid all this money. We wanted to see John Cena win. He didn't win, but we're not mad at Gunther, the heel who beat him. We're mad at the guy who booked it because we know who the guy is who books it. And that guy's on TV all the time talking about how he books it. Like WWE Unreal, the show, is part of this whole thing too. Jey Uso's push did not go the way that they wanted it to. The crowd turned on him. And they were like, why are you pushing this guy so hard down our throats? Why? And why do I get to see the development of the idea that you're going to push this guy so hard down my throat because he sells a bunch of merch? Boo. I boo you. But
Yeah.
I boo you, the man who's making these decisions. I don't boo Gunther because I know Gunther's just an employee of this company. And like all of that shit is the culmination of the way that they have exposed wrestling. You know, in a to some degree it had to be exposed because people knew stuff that they didn't know. But you don't have to make a TV show talking about how you write your TV show. But that's their bullshit because he wants credit. They all want credit, and they want to get Emmys and shit, which is never going to happen for wrestling.
And that's why you get at the end of John Cena's last match, he's sitting in the ring and the crowd is chanting "You fucked up" in this big great moment. Like forever, it's going to be, if you see that clip, it's going to be with music behind it because you can't hear the crowd because the crowd is currently either chanting bullshit or "You fucked up." And like it's just it hurts the product so much, in my opinion, that we can't just have people reacting with and your point is brilliant. It's correct. It's like we need shadow writers that we don't know who's doing it, and like we don't need Triple H going on Good Morning America and being like, "See, we had to." When I approached him about tapping in his last match, like, shut the fuck up, dude. No, Gunther's a bad motherfucker, and Gunther was too much for Cena, and that's the story. Like we don't need like. And it's Game of Thrones. They got mad at Benioff and Weiss for ruining the last season. They didn't get mad at Khaleesi for turning heel. And it's like the wrestling could have kept the and it's partial. It's a lot of the machine's fault. I'm starting like the last time we talked about this. I said I don't blame the fans. To an extent, I blame the fans in some things because it's just annoying guys in the crowd trying to be insiders and like not watching it with childlike wonderment anymore. And they've also priced a lot of those kids, and like, you know, we watch all the old wrestling, and there's like, you know, guys in trucker hats in the front row with his 11 kids, like, and he hates Lex Luger, you know, and it's like, but now it's all adults in the crowd with some kids, and it's people who really, really care about wrestling, and they're on the online and they watch all the bullshit. and it's just not viewed in the same way anymore. And it makes me sad because it could still be awesome. Like John Cena's last match should not have been a moment where the crowd was thinking about who booked this.
Right. And like, you either have the option of completely leaning in, which I feel like is AEW's thing. Like Sting's retirement tour, he went undefeated and won the World Tag Team titles in his last match. And like that, the crowd was super happy, but they're happy because they want Sting to have a good send off, not because that makes sense for the story. Like, but or you have it the other way where like this thing, everybody's mad because they paid all their money and they love John Cena and they're like, we know it's predetermined anyway. You can let him win and everyone will feel good and go home happy. And they're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to do the kayfabe. We're going to make a monster out of Gunther and transfer all this heat to Gunther and make him a huge like obstacle, which I think is great and what the booking should be. But people don't want that booking, and so when they don't get it, they know it's booked, and they're mad at the guy who booked it instead of being mad at Gunther. You can't book this that way.
You can't book this to put Gunther over huge and then do a press conference afterwards, in which case you tell everybody that it was your idea for Gunther to win this. Like,
right.
It doesn't work that way.
We're telling a bigger story here. Don't tell me you're telling a story. I don't want to know that.
Yeah. Like, tell me Gunther's a monster, and it's a shame that the night ended that way. I think all of us, including myself, wanted John to win that match, but Gunther's a really tough hill to climb. Like,
yeah, you're supposed to think it's real. Like that's maybe in a bite-sized way. I think I've talked about it this way before. I want the wrestling show to pretend that it's real. I know that what I'm watching is not real, but the guys in the show, they don't know it's fake. It's Buzz Lightyear. He's a toy who doesn't know he's a toy. Like that's how wrestling works. And if you skirt that line long enough, which is what they've done, this is what you end up with, where the characters don't have heat. People care about wrestlers and they care about moments and they care about big moves, but like Stephanie Vaquer is an incredible women's wrestler and she's super over. Her matches have no heat until she's doing that spot where she's banging the lady's head against the mat with her legs. Like everybody just waits for that spot so they can cheer. They don't know anything about her character. Her character is not in any danger. There's no villain for her to go up against because they know that all of it's predetermined. Like, when Ravishing Rick Rude was going after Jake the Snake's wife, people weren't being like, I wonder how Jake feels about this angle backstage. They were like, I want to see this. That I'd be pissed if Rick Rude tried to hit on my wife. I hope Jake the Snake beats the fuck out of him. Like, and it's just old man yelling at the sky because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but you can stop shooting the toothpaste out of the tube. No one's forcing you to go on television and be like, well, John John requested to lose this match. We understand he's putting over the new generation. We really have high hopes for Gunther in the next quarter that his Q rating will go high and then we could charge even more for these tickets. Like that sucks. That sucks as a product to watch. And I hate it.
Like it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy how much they've leaned into that. And that's the direction they chose to go with it. I understand that, like you said, the toothpaste is out of the tube, but you could have protected it a little bit more. And you can continue.
Right.
Like when Triple H took over, he could have taken over and been like, okay, we're locking the doors. Like, okay, like I'm running the show and I will be, he could even be the like authority figure. You know what I mean? Like people know that Triple H is running the show, but don't go outside and tell everybody about how you're writing this show. And like, don't talk about like the John's, because I heard from multiple people, it was John Cena's idea to lose this match or whatever. And it's like, man, I just don't need to hear that.
Right.
But I digress. Let's talk about the lunacy of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk coming out and handing John Cena their belts. How about that, Dusty?
Well, so I think if John Cena, if it were up to him, he would have done what he did, which is he sat in the ring, he thought about it for a second, he kissed the mat. Unfortunately, Riyadh season was all over the mat.
He kissed Riyadh season, yeah.
He stood up, he thanked the fans, and I think he would have taken his shit off and left it in the ring and walked to the back, and he would have been completely content to have that be the end. I don't know if he knew that they were coming out to the ring to do the dog and pony show of like, we've got one more video package to show you, John. And like, that's a nice moment. I don't hate that. Vince McMahon was on that video package though. So my thought of soft launching Vince back into the ecosystem, at least as not
Listen,
as
I just don't.
I don't think that he's going to be a permanent TV character. I don't think that he's going to be on the board or have anything to do with decisions. But I think that when it's Hall of Fame time, they're going to put Vince in the Hall of Fame. And they're going to want, when he dies, when finally the gypsy's curse is lifted and he becomes an old bag of bones, they're going to want to do a video package for Vince McMahon. So they're soft launching just the idea of putting Vince on TV. We're not doing anything too harsh. We're just getting you used to seeing his face, and that's old Vince.
I'd be okay.
Face that we're seeing.
I'd be okay with one more match. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gunther and Vince.
Get him in there with Gunther. Yeah, let Gunther chop him for every terrible thing that he's ever done. He's just got a list, and he's like, Jesus Christ, my hand is gonna break.
He's probably gonna skip prison, so let's at least get him chopped a bunch of times. You know what I mean?
But I thought Cena, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'm not, I can't get inside his head. He did not look thrilled to be taking pictures with both the title belts over his shoulder.
The belt thing was really, really, really weird.
Well,
like, he is not the champion. He didn't earn these belts. These are the ultimate participation trophies. I know he had been the champion before. I know they're trying to do a nice thing for him, but it kind of just seems like they're trying to make themselves part of the thing, because it doesn't make any sense for him to walk around with two belts that he doesn't hold and take pictures after losing a match.
Yeah, I thought, because I missed when they put the belt on his shoulder, I thought they had given him, like, if they had come out and given him like a commemorative, hey, instead of a gold watch, like, here's a spinner belt, as for all your years of service or whatever.
There was an easy fix, man. You come out, if you want to give him a belt, you come out with a belt that says WWE Hall of Fame on it. You hand it to him, you announce that he's immediately being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you do the video package. Bang.
Or, you get him one that says the GOAT or something on it, like, you don't give him the belt of the two active champions. And then you can see Punk and Rhodes are talking to him in the ring, like, come on, man, take the picture. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're like, walk around with it. And he's like trying to give it back to him. And like, it's like,
yeah,
it was really weird, man. That was my the crowd was the worst thing of the night for me. The second worst thing of the night was handing the belts to him. And the third worst thing of the night was the finish.
Yeah. Your idea is so good of Triple H in the press conference going, look, man, I'm just as disappointed as you guys. I would have loved to send John Cena out as a winner for everything he's done for the company.
We put this whole production around for the thing. We were really hoping that he would rise to the occasion.
Gunther didn't win that tournament for no reason. He's a killer. And, like...
But you instead you just go, I decided that Gunther was going to win that one. You guys should totally think that Gunther is a monster, but I just decided that he's going to win that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it sucks. So that's the last match. I wanted to talk to you, Andrew. We did trivia for John Cena a couple weeks ago. We did his Sporkle for matches. I just want to talk about some weird things culturally that John Cena has been a part of our lives for so long that I don't think we really calibrate that. Like, the amount of time John Cena has been a professional wrestler in our lives and all the things he's done. John Cena debuted June 28th, 2002. That is before the United States was involved in the Second Iraq War. That's pre the Second Iraq War.
We were still licking our wounds. We hadn't figured out who we wanted to invade yet.
No, there were no weapons of mass destruction then.
Yeah.
There had only been one Fast and Furious movie. Just the original Fast and Furious movie had come out when John Cena debuted. There have been 10, which he's been in some of them since then.
Listen, bro, you are starting to convince me that these were the good old days.
Well, this one will really put it over for you. There had been 0 Marvel movies made. The cinematic universe for Marvel does not exist for 6 years. John Cena has been world champion multiple times when Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. appears in theater in 2008.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a better world. I mean, Iron Man was dope.
Yes.
I'll never I have my issues with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Iron Man itself was dope. The Eminem Show came out in 2002. I don't know if you have that on your thing.
He could have been listening to the Eminem Show when he debuted, which I'm sure he was.
So
he was listening
Eminem
to
had
Collapse.
Eminem had not made a bad album when John Cena debuted.
Yeah. What game system do you think released the video game that John Cena first appeared on for WWF?
N64?
You've got the right company, the wrong system. The GameCube. Son.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay.
He's on WrestleMania 19 as a playable character.
I went too far back.
You went too far. He's been in 22 video games for WWE.
That's pretty sick.
Since he debuted. Tom Brady had only won his first Super Bowl.
Why you always got shit falling?
Dude, I tried to tape everything so hard. I'm just gonna throw that light away. One Super Bowl win for Tom Terrific when John Cena debuted. Talk about two goats in their industries, man.
Yeah, and it had only been 2 years since the Yankees last won a World Series, and they still haven't won one. So
that's no, didn't they win in 2009?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm the Yankee fan, and I forgot about it. Listen, I feel like it's been 30 years.
Yeah. John Cena began his career a full year before MySpace launched. We're not even on Facebook yet, dude. We're talking MySpace days. We're pre-MySpace for John Cena. If culture just ended in 2002, do you think we're better off?
Yeah. We are.
Yeah.
We get on AOL Instant Messenger with your friends and go outside and do something. There wasn't anything fun enough to keep us addicted to technology yet.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes is in high school when John Cena debuts in 2002.
Listen, bro, what was the date?
June 28th, 2002.
I was 11.
Yeah. I had just graduated high school. Braun Breaker was 4 years old. Braun Breaker's wrestling for the world title a month from now. Javon Evans, it was Javon Evans who was on that last show. He wasn't even born. He wrestled in John Cena's retirement match. He was born in 2004.
That's wild.
That is crazy. Just a couple more. There have been 4 presidents that John Cena has served as WWF champion under.
You didn't even have to say served as WWF champion under. He is a part of the military.
That's right. Yeah. He's getting his. He gets a Spinner Bronze Star.
But he doesn't recognize Biden.
No. I feel like the weekend John Cena debuted, you might have been at the movie theater, Andrew. Can you name the Adam Sandler film that was #1 at the box office?
Big Daddy.
No.
It wasn't Big Daddy. Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep. One of
Big Daddy's
movies,
like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Mr. Deeds, I mean, it's not good, but there's some underrated jokes in that movie.
Yeah. We were only on episode 2. Send in the clouds. That was number that was number 9 at the box office.
Send in the meteor. No way.
No way. We only had one Born Identity. It was it's number 5 that weekend. That's a pretty good movie weekend. Minority Report is number 2 behind
What's funny?
Unseated by Mr. Deeds.
I was about to ask you if Minority Report had. I swear to God, had because I saw that one in theaters.
Okay. Last weekend, John Cena's retirement match, Zootopia 2 was number 1 at the box office. Actually, let me see. Oh, well, that's really, it's really depressing. Speaking of culture, the top 5 movies from last weekend are all sequels. Or well,
Yeah,
4 of the 5. One of them is
we don't watch part ones anymore. Are you kidding me?
Zootopia 2, Five Nights at Freddy 2, Wicked for Good, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which is the third Now You See Me movie.
The third magician heist movie that they made.
Yep. I did see an interview with Dave Franco where he said that he kept pitching that they make the name of the movie Now You Three Me, which does make me laugh. If you're going to do it, that's at least better than...
I would have kicked him off the set.
you gotta go. Yeah, so well, just a couple of things about where we were in culture in 2002 versus where we are now. I'm gonna miss John Cena. John Cena's, I might put him in the top 5. I don't know if he might make the Mount Rushmore of guys of all time. Like, he is the last Vince guy that was the guy, the main guy, and that's interesting.
Would you say Roman Reigns doesn't count?
Oh, I guess Roman Reigns would count. Yeah, that's okay. So, and I guess Cody to some degree, because Cody came back when Vince was still in charge. Yeah. But
so you're just stupid. You're an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about wrestling.
So
I'm the worst.
For WWE, because if you're going Rushmore for WWE, you got to put The Rock and Stone Cold on there. That's 2 spots.
Yeah, well, then it's like...
Then you got to go Hogan.
You have... Unfortunately, his face is carved up there with the bandana.
You absolutely have to. You can't not put him in there. So then he would have to be 4th unless... Because, I don't know if you could put Flair in there because Flair's best work was elsewhere.
Yeah, on the all-time wrestling Mount Rushmore, I don't know that he makes that list. But as far as WWF or WWE greatest of all time, he's on the list. He was the main guy for 20 years, and I don't think that his best runs equal The Rock or Stone Cold or Hogan's best runs. But he's the babyface of the 2000s.
There's not even really a main, like a big 4th, like another option. Like, who else would it be? Like Savage, but like I guess Savage was never like the guy.
You could go like
Andre?
A lot of people want to do Andre, but Andre is early into national expansion and pre-national expansion, and he was never the champ or the main guy.
Once it was nationally expanded and he was on the show, he could barely walk anymore. Like, right. I don't think you can really put him up there. So I think I think Cena's your guy.
The only other guy is the Undertaker. But
that's a good point.
But
I'd put Cena over him.
Yeah, Undertaker never drew the same way that Cena did, and he was never out front the same because the gimmick is limiting for the Undertaker to be one of those guys. But
was the Undertaker the number 1 guy in the company ever?
Yeah, I mean, it was like him and Brett probably, because he does win the belt.
Yeah, through that early time, okay.
He does win the belt in 97, because even Michaels is maybe the best in-ring wrestler of all time, but none of his box office comes close or his longevity. Triple H, box office wise, is not nearly the same as Cena. I like it's tough to beat a guy who was on top for 20 years.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Cena. I think
Yeah.
it's the Rock, Stone Cold, Hogan, Cena.
Yeah, and I think like it I could hear arguments otherwise, but it'd be really hard to move one of those four guys cuz like Austin's run isn't long, but it's the hottest run anybody's ever had in history, saved the WWF, like The
Yeah.
Rock again, not a super long run, but whenever he was the hottest at the time the product was the hottest, and he crossed over truly as the first mainstream like movie star wrestler because Hogan never made movies that made $100 million or anything like that. That's all
Mm-hmm.
Rock. And then you've got Hogan, unquestionably the guy that makes the national expansion possible and is the top babyface.
He's got to be the number one in my opinion, like in terms of like the most important WWF wrestler of all time
Yeah.
it's got to be Hulk Hogan. And then I would probably go personally, like I loved The Rock, but I probably go Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock, Cena.
I might flip
but you
Rock
could
and
even
Cena.
flip Rock and Cena. Yeah, exactly. You might go Hogan, Stone Cold, Cena, Rock.
Yeah, but I think that's the big four.
Yeah.
That's so. Yeah, I like Andrew said at the top. Go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe, and go follow us on all the different platforms that exist now because we are past MySpace in 2002. But
Unfortunately.
we appreciate everybody who listens. Leave us a comment. Let us know if we're way outside on the Mount Rushmore. And we'll be back next week covering another long form episode because we are wrestling over everything, and we, unlike John Cena, never give up.
Ooh, that hurts.
I'm never giving up.